This is actually real crazy for me because it's the first time that I'm playing some of these songs for an audience, so I'm nervous about it, but I'm pretty excited. I think.
Take it.
Oh no, it's all good. I got it. Thanks. That's my mom in the
Can I
background.
take it live?
It's gonna be on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. Supportive moms all the way. So yeah, this is this first song I'm gonna do. It's called "Denial." I wrote this a couple of years ago because I got this crazy idea to make a 5-song EP, and I was gonna write it in 6 months, and then I got the concept to write about the 5 stages of grief. You know, denial, sadness, well, depression, anger, bargaining, and acceptance. And that ended up becoming this huge, like, monster of a project because I realized, like, I hadn't really let myself grieve things or feel sad about things or be really angry about things. And part of the reason that I love music and songwriting in the first place is because it's a tool to explore your feelings, and you find that a lot more people probably feel the same way that you do. And you don't realize it until you share what's on your heart. So here's Denial. Lights, camera, action, time for the show. Smell pretty, don't let them know. I'll save my tears for when I get home. I wear denial so easy, but I'm getting tired of easy. I can't make out what's real and it's driving me closer, closer to the edge. Don't ask me if I'm doing fine, cause it's breaking my heart a little bit, a little bit, a little bit more. If I say I'm okay, it's a lie, cause I'm falling apart a little bit, a little bit, a little bit more. Realize all these real lies, the ones I've told my whole life. They'll catch up with me sometime. So I'll put on the false pretenses. Oh, I'll keep playing the defensive. I can't make out what's real and it's driving me closer, closer to the edge. Don't ask me if I'm doing fine, cause it's breaking my heart a little bit, a little bit, a little bit more. If I say I'm okay, it's a lie, cause I'm falling apart a little bit, a little bit, a little bit more. Don't ask me if I'm doing fine, cause it's breaking my heart. If I say I'm okay, it's a lie, cause I'm falling apart. Some say denial's just a river. Well, I beg to differ. It's the ocean that I drown myself in. Feel it pulling me in deeper till I can't remember. Oh, oh, oh. I tried to lie about it, but I can't run from myself. Oh no, I can't run, I can't run, I can't run. Don't ask me if I'm doing fine, cause it's breaking my heart a little bit, a little bit, a little bit more. If I say I'm okay, it's a lie, cause I'm falling apart a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Don't ask me if I'm doing fine, cause you're breaking my heart. Oh. If I say I'm okay, it's a lie, cause I'm falling apart a little bit, a little bit, a little bit more. I tried to lie about it, but I can't run from myself. Okay, that is actually the first time I've ever played that live, so that's pretty exciting.
So beautiful.
Thanks.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Has anyone ever heard of the band Paramore? Yeah. I'm a huge fan of them, and they wrote this album called After Laughter that changed my life. And I wanted to write a song that sounded really, really happy and bright and upbeat. But that was actually kind of a bummer. So that was my exploration of what it was like to write a song like that. This next song is a cover from this artist I really, really like. Her name is Maggie Rogers, and this song is called Alaska. I was walking through icy streams that took my breath away, moving slowly through westward waters over glacial plains, and I walked off you, and I walked off and old me, oh my, I thought it was a dream, so it seemed, and now breathe deep, I'm inhaling. You and I, there's air in between. Leave me be, I'm exhaling. You and I, there's air in between. Ooh, 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 ooh. There's air in between. Ooh, 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 ooh. Cut my hair so I could rock back and forth without thinking of you. Learn to talk and say whatever I wanted to. And I walked off you, and I walked off no me. Oh my, I thought it was a dream, so it seems. And now breathe deep, I'm inhaling. You and I, there's air in between. Leave me be, I'm exhaling. You and I, there's air in between. And now breathe deep, I'm inhaling. You and I, there's air in between. Leave me be, I'm exhaling. You and I, there's air in between. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. And now breathe deep, I'm inhaling. You and I, there's air in between. Leave me be, I'm exhaling. You and I, there's air in between. Thanks, guys. Thanks. This next song is another original off of my EP, Good Grief, coming at the end of the year. I'm pretty excited about it. This one is called Happy Thoughts, and it's a song about being bummed out. Yeah, it was another one of those explorations of like, man, I am feeling really sad and I don't really know what to do with these feelings. So instead of like leaving them inside me, I'm just gonna write about it and see what happens, see what comes out. And I've always thought of music as therapy. So sitting and like working out this song and writing it, and I co-wrote it with a friend of mine, Steven. Um, it was such a good way of like trying to understand and use language to paint the picture of like, all right, what am I looking at? What's happening around me? What does this feel like? What does this taste like? What does it smell like? And kind of using all of my five senses to depict this feeling. So yeah, this is called Happy Thoughts. Okay, I'm like nervous about this one. It's 3 a.m. sleeping, my friend, not tonight. I wish that I'd met her, maybe then I'd feel better. But she passed me by again. Talk to the walls, they hear this song all over again. I wish I was better, when does it get better? Hold them hostage in the morning. They say, just think happy thoughts, watch all my problems go away. Well, I've tried and tried to hurt a little less, but it gets worse every day. And all of my friends, they're out again, making more memories without me. Gotta get myself together, make myself feel better before I end up all alone. And it gets so hard to watch them all dance in the rain, make the best of this life, when I know that I'll never really get better. Don't think they'd miss me at all. And I can hear them say, just think happy thoughts, watch all my problems go away. Well, I've tried and tried to hurt a little less, but it gets worse every day. Just think happy thoughts, watch all my problems go away. Oh, I've tried and tried to hurt a little less, but it gets worse every day. I know they try their best, but every well-meant platitude stings like a Judas kiss before I fall. And I know they try to help the best way they know how, but if I can't find my own way out, what makes them think they know it all? I try everything I can to keep a smile upon my face, just to make it seem like I'm okay a little more every day. But I'm tired of wishing who I was before, and denial, it just ain't working for me anymore. So keep your happy thoughts. You heard me. I said keep your happy thoughts, watch all my problems go away. Oh, I've tried and tried to hurt a little less, but it gets worse every day. I said keep your happy thoughts, 'cause they won't keep my heart from breaking. Oh, I've tried and tried Thanks. Um, has anybody ever heard of Alanis Morissette? So you ought to know kind of the way that Alanis Morissette writes that I really, really appreciate. She's just real honest and real. She doesn't try and pretty things up. It's just life. Here's life. Here's how it is. You live, you learn literal lyrics from her song. Um, so I've always liked being a storyteller, and I've always liked the idea of oh, I'm just like looking at the comments right now. You will be able to hear some of these songs when my EP comes out toward the end of the year, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I just really love honest songwriters who don't sugarcoat things, songwriters who are honest about how they feel. The song that made me want to write songs and want to pursue music was actually like Family Portrait by Pink, because I was going through, I was some of your guys' age, and I was like navigating through my parents splitting up and all of that stuff, and she just wrote about that experience that she had when her parents divorced. And I was like, oh my gosh, somebody gets it. And it was exactly that experience of like, you know, mom and dad, stop fighting and stop yelling, and this super hurts. And I think to hear someone just say it so plainly was like, I have language for things that I didn't think anybody would ever get. So yeah, I just want to give that same gift to people. What's next on the set list? I like have my little cheat sheet here. um, we're gonna slow it down a little bit with a song I like to call "Sweet Innocence." This is another one from the EP about bargaining. This one took me a long time to write, but once I got it, I think it turned out pretty cool. I stood outside our old house, one way filled with song. I tried to retrace my steps, figure out where things went wrong. Looked up at the sun through the cherry tree, remembering when we were free and everything was possible, but now you're gone and I don't hear the music anymore. So, sweet innocence, come back to me. I'd give everything just to see. Sweet innocence, come back to me. Ooh, ooh. Mother always told me it's not your fight to win. I'm too young to wonder about what could have been. But now that I'm older, I find myself searching for something to bring back the sound of that house you left. I wanna hear the music again. Time is not enough. So, sweet innocence, come back to me. I'd give everything just to see. Sweet innocence, come back to me. Oh, sweet innocence, come back to me. I'd give everything just to see. Sweet innocence, come back to me. Oh, if only, if only, if only time could turn back time. Oh, if only, if only, if only time was on my side. If we held on to home and we never let go, maybe then I come back to me. Come back, come back. Sweet innocence, come back to me. I'd give everything just to see. Sweet innocence, come back to me. I stood outside our old house, but when you left, thanks, guys. Low key, I was working with my guitar teacher, Mike, super cool. And I was playing through like an early version of this, and he was like, "Hey, so you're playing, you're playing that G chord. There's something missing. Why don't you try adding this?" And I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. That's duh. Of course, that's what's missing." Moral of the story: listen to your instrument teachers because they have good things to contribute to your songwriting and musicianship. I think I've got time for like one more. Okay, cool. I've got like, thank you, thanks. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. I haven't performed this cover live yet, but I really like it, and I think it wraps up that theme of the 5 stages of grief really well. Has anybody heard of this band, Lake Street Dive? They're really, really good. I like them a lot, and they have this song on the last album that they came out with, "I Can Change." And I've heard people talk about how, like, some songs it's about moving the butt. So songs that are like about getting you dancing and songs that are getting you moving, and then other songs that are like 3 chords in the truth. And I like this song because it feels like a 3 chords in the truth kind of song. It's called "I Can Change." Hey, it casts a long shadow, and I know that I lie in it and let it ruin my mind from time to time. Escaping an old battle that clings on like a vine to me, whispers dirty lies inside my ear. I know we didn't start this fight, and I won't let it ruin my heart tonight. I can change, I can change, I can still change, I can still change. Ooh. Tracing an old pattern, drawing the lines from where I am and from where I wanna be. Forget that old adage that history continues to keep us from the world we wanna see. I am scared that I won't get it right, but fear won't rule my heart tonight. I can change, I can change, I can still change, I can still change. I can change, I can change, I can still change. I can change. Oh, I can change. I can change. I can change. I can change. I I can still change. I can still change. Thanks, guys. Well, I am clapping. Yes. Very loudly. All the loud claps. I love it. We love to see it, guys. Thank you, guys. That really means a lot. It's like, it feels like throwing your babies out to the wolves when you write a song and you just share them with people. So I really appreciate how supportive you've been.
Kaciny, thank you so much. I think we all were really touched. That was really beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah. I put your website in the chat. I'll do it again so that people can join your mailing list.
Nice.
Congratulations on the record.
Thanks.
We've got like 2 minutes. If anybody wants to chime in and share a thought, ask a quick question. No pressure, but this was an awesome way to kick off the week.
Thanks. I'm like scrolling through the chat right now. Y'all are all very kind. I appreciate it.
Nice inspiration for songwriting. These our campers are going to be working on some original music this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Best thing I can say about that is, don't be afraid of like being honest. Don't be afraid of being yourself. Don't be afraid of writing songs that are not that great because in order to get to this place where I've got songs that I really like, I had to trudge through some not really great songs and giving myself permission to write songs that maybe people would think are bad or maybe you think are bad. It's just a way of like putting in the reps and building up that muscle so that you know what works, what doesn't. The best way to do it is just to keep writing and keep writing until you find your voice.
Well, thank you again. You got a lot of new fans in this room, which is really cool. So we'll look out for it. Thank you so much. Everybody give it up one more time.
Nice to meet you all. I'm really glad I got to do this with you guys. Thanks, Gabby.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Thank you. Everybody, we'll see you at camp tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Ta-ta for now.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
I just cut that question. Is there enough time for that?
If you want to, you can go ahead. Yeah.
The structure to writing an original. So it's a little bit of.
Sorry, let me see if Diana's still in here. I don't know if she is. Yes, she is.
She's.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The structure to writing an original. So it starts with knowing song structure, whether you're writing a jazz song that's like A, B, A, regular pop songs where it's like verse, chorus, pre-chorus, bridge, chorus, whatever that general standard structure is, knowing that really well. And there's a ton of really, really great resources out there about songwriting, books that I really love that I've read. But I think for me, I started just by playing around and writing songs that kind of sounded like other songs. So I'm like, I know that this song has a verse and the verse starts kind of low. And then this song, it like builds up and it's not the chorus yet, but it's the pre-chorus. So I'll write like 2 lines because this person wrote 2 lines. And then the chorus is the really big part that everybody sings. So having that understanding of song structure is really helpful. And then when you've listened to enough music, you kind of get a general sense of how things go. And then it's like, okay, so I have this box of like how songs are written. Now, what is my version of the box? How would I color this box? So this artist that I love likes to write about love and romance, but I really like writing about riding my bike. So what does that look like in this little box? And then just kind of playing around with it from there. I like to give myself challenges too. Like I wrote a song and I was like, I want the whole chorus to just be one word. So I wrote it, and it ended up being the song that I really love called Lie. Um, so yeah, sometimes it's just understanding song structure really well, because you kind of don't know what to do if you don't get, you can't break the rules if you don't know the rules. Does that make sense? Okay. Like I want to make sure that answers your question at all.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty well said. Yeah, I just wanted to know a bit because, like, um, yeah, I've been like kind of lost with it and stuff. Like since I'm a part of the camp, like, I'm getting a little bit more like a bit more confident about myself, and like my self esteem's going up a bit, and and yeah. And I'm thinking of maybe doing like an original, maybe sometime in the future and stuff.
Nice. I think Stevie Wonder was the one who said this, but somewhere in my mind, I'm thinking that he told Michael Jackson this, but I'm sure that's not what happened. um, but it is something that Stevie Wonder definitely said. You got to write about what you know. So all of those songs were things that I experienced and things that I knew about. And I just kind of read a lot of poetry or read books and tried to find ways to tell that story um, with a little bit more color. So, um, you know, for example, Sweet Innocence was about like my relationship with my dad. And I never really had words to like articulate it, but and I never thought that I would write about that. I thought that, everybody else writes about this thing or that thing, so I should write about those things. No one's going to want to hear a song about my dad. But it turns out that I was able to better kind of paint the picture because I experienced it. I lived it. I know what it looked like. There was an actual cherry tree in my backyard, So don't be afraid to take those little like mundane things that you think don't matter, like the street that you're on or the smell of your room, and jot those things down. Like keep a journal. This is a good piece of advice that I got. Keep a journal, jot those things down. Anything that sounds like it could be maybe a cool song title, or I noticed the green grass today. You never know; it might end up being the first line to your hit song. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go because I realized I haven't eaten anything, and food's important. So